welcome to episode 33 of The Weekly Whisper. I'm your host, Elian Habanero, and I'm here to talk all things 365 pro wrestling. And I'm happy to be back, and I'm happy to do another great episode. Thanks for the people that are joining me, and let's do this together. And I have quite a bit to talk about, specifically wrestling events. And it's so nice that wrestling events are back, but I am a little bit jealous, and if there's anyone who's thinking of driving to BC that wouldn't mind throwing me and a cameraman in the back seat and letting us tag along, I just want to be there and experience what they're experiencing, but it's still cool to be at least a small part of it, to bring you the news of everything that we found out. And we did find out a bit more for you, so we'll get into that. And I just want to say shoutouts to the Twitch channel. 365 has been really picking up on this. It's a little bit different than Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and all that other stuff. You can do live streams, so it's kind of neat, and you can join in and like do a live chat and talk to people while they're doing it. And I'm really enjoying some of the content they've been putting up there. Some of the stuff I've seen before, but it's so neat to do it live and like chat with other people. And I'm just wondering where this is gonna go. Where could it take off from here? And I'm personally hoping, now this has not been anything that I've even heard myself, any rumors about, but I really am truly wishing, since I can't be in British Columbia, that maybe they'll give us some bonus stuff on Twitch for the live event coming up. Maybe like some, behind the scenes content, or backstage interviews, or maybe even a post-match interview, because I just want to know. I just want to know things as soon as they happen. But thank gosh, I got a lot of people that I have contacts with that fill me in, and some of the great viewers of the show will drop some stuff in the comments. But that Saturday night can be a long night waiting for stuff to come out, especially with the time difference. And speaking of that, the Twitch thing and the live event, it's only like 16 days away, so get your tickets. And we're going to talk about that. Saturday, September 5th at the Willow Point Hall in Campbell River, BC. The doors open at 7. The bell will ring at 7:30 p.m. And it's sponsored by Fitness, etc. All the stuff, all the rules and regulations and laws from the last event as of now are still in place. So there'll be social distancing. Groups will have to sit separate from other groups, and you have to clean your hands and just not be coughing on people, that kind of stuff. I don't know, and this is something I really should ask, but I'm gonna find out for next week. Tune in next week on the Weekly Whisper. If the wrestlers come out at intermission, can you even interact with them? Can you take pictures with them, get autographs, sell merchandise? That I don't know, and that's something I should have asked. But I had a bunch of other stuff I was trying to find out. And I got some stuff that I wanted to find out. As far as last week when I was talking on episode 32, there were still some things up in the air. There was been challenges thrown around from some of the wrestlers. People were scheduled to appear, but the matches had not all been set. But it looks like we're good to go, barring any last-minute changes or injuries or anything like that, or surprise things that we may not know of. There has been 6 matches set, and I don't know about the order of the matches. See, that's a tricky thing. You have the Grand Championship on the line, and you have the Global Championship on the line. Which one is going to go last? That I don't know. I'm going to try and get in touch with Dr. Walls, but sometimes they probably just wait and, surprise the fans, the order of the matches and how that goes. But, so anyway, let's talk about the first championship. Like I said, the Global Championship on the line. The Golden Boy Travis Williams will be defending his newly won Global Championship against Liza Hall, someone he battled to a 15-minute time limit draw when they were in the Grand Championship tournament about 6 months back there. And if Liza Hall wins, she will become the global champion, but she's also the global women's champion, so that could be a big night for her. And hopefully she can pull through. But Travis Williams, as he showed winning the tournament the last event there, it's going to be a tough night at the office for her. She's got to really bring 110% to get past him. And, you know, sometimes there's some sneakiness involved. There's some asterisks on his wins from last time, but I guess that doesn't count, right? You got the title, you got the title. So that's the first match that we're talking about. That was announced already. And then this match, the Chairway to Hell match, the Cremator Von Slasher versus Nolan James, the Monster of Mayhem versus the Island Crusader. Now, we talked a bit about this last week. Chairs will be a legal weapon allowed in the match. Chairway to Hell. So you're allowed to hit your opponent with a chair if you can get your hands on one, and that can make the match a completely different than it would be a normal singles match following the traditional wrestling rules. I know Ref Tim will have his hands full, but if there's anyone that could take charge in a type of match like this and make sure it goes according to plan, it would be Ref Tim. So I reached out to Nolan James for comment to ask him if Zach Andrews would be in his corner or not, or just any kind of quotable he could give us to talk about the upcoming match. And as of the filming of this episode, he has not responded as of yet. But I'm looking to hopefully maybe next week get some comments from him as to maybe if he'll talk about how he feels going into this match. Like I said, if he's going to have Zach Andrews in his corner, as that really was the way he was able to injure Cremator at the last event, is the numbers game of him and Zach teaming up on Cremator. I don't really know if he could have done what he did by himself, although when you attack from behind you always have the advantage. But anyway, so we're going to try my former best friend, I guess maybe, you know, Nolan James is, maybe he's turned a new coat of paint. Maybe he's decided to, you know, that friendships are not important nowadays, championships are, because he's got to be thinking differently to get himself involved against the Cremator. So then, what we were talking about last week is the grand champion, Jordy Taylor, was issued a challenge by Brett Matthews, and Jordy Taylor responded that if Brett Matthews could beat Tony Baroni, then he would get another shot at Jordy Taylor. Well, and then Brett Matthews accepted back, and then there was an opponent pick both ways, and Dr. Walsh has made this official, and that's what's going to happen. So the Grand Championship will be defended by the OGB, Old Greedy Bastard, Jordy Taylor, against one half of the Tag Team Champions, Eddie Osborne, Campbell River's own. So if Eddie Osborne is able to defeat Jordy Taylor, and Liza Hall is able to win her match, we could see two people walking away, both holding two championships, as Eddie Osborne, like I said, is one half of the Tag Team Champions, and then I'm not sure how it goes from there. If Brett Matthews, so there's that other match. We got Brett Matthews versus Tony Baroni. If Brett Matthews wins, he gets a shot at, see, this is where I should have done my research a bit better. Does he get a shot at the Grand Champion no matter who the champion is, or does he get a match against Jordy Taylor to get his revenge, even if Jordy Taylor loses the match to Eddie Osborne? That I don't know, but we'll find out as Dr. Walls always seems to come through. And speaking of Dr. Walls, I spoke last week about the confrontation between Eric Aufleger and him, and so I want to see if anything more is going to come of that. And then we talked last week also about the triple threat match and how I felt that was really important as far as getting yourself in line for a championship match. So the triple threat match is the Born Sinner Judas Icarus versus Rhea Von Slasher versus the Beef Boy Elliot Tyler. And then we knew that TJ Harley, did you see that video that I was talking about last week? He seems to be a little bit out in left field, but that may be bad for his opponent because his match has been announced now. And like I said, they battled a long time ago for the BC title. So it is going to be TJ Harley, this version of TJ Harley anyway, against one half of the Tag Team Champions, Haviko. So those are the 6 matches that so far have been announced. I believe that's going to be there. I believe there were 6 matches on the last card. You know, with being indoors and stuff, I don't think they want the events to be going 3-4 hours. But you know, there's always something bound to happen. So that's what we have set for as of right now. And I want to know, what match are you looking forward to seeing the most out of these 6? Which one are you really can't wait to see, whether you're going to be there live or when it is available for viewing on the internet or online or whatnot? I would have to pick the triple threat. Now, some people are just not fans of triple threats. You know, it's not as one-on-one, you know, it's not like a traditional wrestling match. The rules can be a little bit different, but I love triple threats personally, for the most part. I've seen a lot of good ones over the years, so that's the match I'm looking forward to the most, because also what I was saying is, whoever wins that match is just rocketing themselves up the rankings and should put themselves in position to get a championship match in the future. So I'm really looking forward to Judas versus Rhea versus Ellie Tyler. And speaking of that, I thought, why don't do the top 5 triple threats in the history of the 365 brand, which includes the old PWA matches. So the top 5 triple threats, I believe most of them are on YouTube, but if not, then I believe all of them except for one are on YouTube. But anyway, let's do this. Top 5 triple threats in the history of the 365 brand. At number 4, I got Reggie Marley, the Big Ticket, versus Josh Alexander versus Eazy-E Eric Carney. I believe this is the one that was not on YouTube that I haven't seen yet, or maybe I just missed it, but I was there that night and it was a great match, and I really enjoyed seeing all those guys who all work completely different styles compete, and Reggie Marley won another championship that day. It wasn't his last championship, but I don't want to get into that right now. So anyway, top 5 is Reggie Marley versus Josh Alexander versus Eazy-E Eric Carney. And at number 4, we got Rip Impact versus Joey Allen versus Kato Kiyomiya. I think I said that right. I apologize if I did not. That one is up on YouTube, and I believe it's up on Facebook. That was a tremendous match. Another one where it was all 3 really completely different styles, and it was just an exciting contest that I enjoyed watching, and I was there live for that one too. And then at number 3, I picked, I believe it was from a Chosen, Jackie Lee versus the Golden Boy Travis Williams versus Crofton. That was a really unique match, and that's on YouTube, so go check that one out. I really enjoyed that. I was not there live for that one, but I watched it on YouTube, and I really enjoyed it, and I think I'm going to be giving that another viewing. So that's number 3. At number 2, I put myself. Elian Habanero versus Sean Ball versus Eddie Osborne. And we had 2 triple threats, actually. There was one that was a ladder match, and there was one that was just no DQ, where weapons were included, but it was pinfalls, not grabbing the belt from the top of the ladder. But I'm going to pick the ladder match. Both ones are great matches to me. 2 of the most painful matches I've ever been through, and but you know, seeing them on tape 12, 13 years later, it seems worth it. But there was another one between Rip and Sean Ball and Eddie that I missed the list. But we got a lot of guys here the same. We got Sean Ball. Sorry, what am I talking about? So anyway, we got a lot of triple threats that didn't make it, including the same people. I believe the only person on this list on twice is someone that I picked for number 1, the global champion currently, who was in the number 3 match with Jackie Lee and Crofton, Golden Boy Travis Williams versus Born Sinner Judas Icarus versus Nicole Matthews, is the number 1 triple threat that I picked in the history of the 365 brand. That one's on YouTube. Check that out. That is a real gem. That is a masterpiece in my opinion. So those are my top 5 triple threats. Some people call them 3-ways, whatever, triangle match, whatever you want to call it. It's where it's 3 opponents versus each other. And there's been some good triple threat tag team matches, but that's going to be for another day. So number 5, Reggie Marley versus Josh Alexander versus Eric Carney. Number 4, Joey Allen versus Kato Kiyomiya versus Rip Impact. Number 3, Jackie Lee versus Crofton versus Travis Williams. Number 2, myself, Elian Habanero versus Suicide Sean Ball versus Impact Eddie Osborne. And number 1, Judas Icarus versus Travis Williams versus Nicole Matthews. And I really want you to do me a favor, and that is like, or you get a leg drop, comment, or you get a clothesline, subscribe, or you get a suplex, or share, and you get a sleeper. I'm your host, Elian Habanero. I love wrestling. Cuba.